Hello, I'm Philip Stoten from EMS Now. I am here at SMTAI in Texas, and I'm joined by Mike Konrad from Aqueous. Mike, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Phil.
Start by telling me a little bit about what's new here and what's going on for you guys in the US market.
So we've been concentrating this year and for the last 2 years before this on education. We're producing workshops, technical workshops, non-commercial, which is unusual for us, technical workshops. The problem that we have is, or the problem in the cleaning industry in general is that there's an absence of relevant, up-to-date conventional knowledge. There's either some obsolete memory of what cleaning was in the 1980s, back when everybody cleaned, or there's no knowledge of cleaning at all. So there's a void in either case. So we've been producing workshops around North America, throughout North America and throughout the world, 16 this year, on cleaning and reliability, and what best practices are, environmental mitigation techniques, logistical concerns, things like that, to kind of present the entire spectrum of the value added in terms of reliability that cleaning brings to the table, the potential defects when contamination is allowed to remain on board, what to look for, and we have a lot of aha moments at these events.
Yeah, that's interesting. And 16 events, how many people do you think you've reached across those events?
On the low end, 25 to 30. On the high end, 125 per event. So we've reached several hundred people this year. Several hundred people this year, and the subsequent years. And the workshops are getting more popular. They're selling out, so to speak. We don't charge for them.
And why the lack of knowledge? Is it shame on you, or is it shame on the industry?
No, well, we'd like to say shame on you, but it's not. It's really shame on us. Back through about 1989, when cleaning solvents were originally proposed to be banned, and in the mid-90s when they actually were banned, everybody cleaned circuit boards. That was just part of the process. You stuff the leads, you cut and clinched, you wave soldered, you cleaned. It's just part of it. And then with the abolishment of all the nasty solvents, the CFC-based solvents, no clean became a technology. No clean solder paste became a technology. No clean flux. And pretty much, with the exception of maybe military and some medical, super high rel stuff, everyone just stopped cleaning. They just adopted an opening process. And for all the reasons that everyone's aware of today, miniaturization, higher refill temperatures with lead-free, the amount of allowable contamination that does not lead to a problem, is much lower than it used to be. So more and more assemblies are requiring that small amount of contamination to be removed. And one of the things that a lot of our customers don't realize at first is, even if the flux was totally inert, which is not, but it's close, it doesn't leave a lot of residue. When we were cleaning the flux, we were not only cleaning flux, we were cleaning everything. We were cleaning all the contaminants from board fab, from the assembly process, component fab, transfer contamination, etc. And now, when we don't target flux, we don't target anything. So there are a lot of stowaways that, in combination, can accumulate enough harmful contamination to create reliability issues on the board.
And obviously the educational process is a really important element of it. Surely that can't just be left to one company. Is there cooperation there? Is there collaboration going on?
Yeah, we try and make our workshops as information rich as possible. So we work with a team of partners. We usually bring a chemical company. We'll bring a AOI company, maybe X-ray, conformal coating equipment company, contract assemblers, failure analysis companies, and we present a pretty comprehensive full-day workshop on chemicals, environmental impact, equipment, failure analysis techniques, things like that. One of our more popular combinations is when we bring someone from a reliability lab that has real case history and experience with failures, and those are always pretty popular when they're there speaking.
You can never beat a case study, can you? And
that's right.
It's there to inform the audience and to teach them. But I guess you guys learn from the voice of customer. You get to see what their challenges and their issues
we're
are.
really, it's kind of a voyeuristic view into what our customers are thinking by the questions that they're asking. And clearly, our goal at the end of the day is to provide equipment to our customers. So this is not a philanthropic endeavor, even though we don't charge for these. What it is a pay it forward. An educated customer makes smart decisions, and we hope that the educated customer will consider us one of the smart decisions. At the very least, it brings knowledge to the table, and it allows a potential consumer to be much more informed and know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And particularly when it comes to environmental legislation. The most popular format of cleaner that we produce now are zero discharge cleaners. Cleaners that aren't even connected to a sewer line, to a drain line. And that's, although not required in every municipality, it is a hedge against potential liability when a government body comes in and retroactively imposes rules that penalize you for doing something at the time which was allowed, which in hindsight is no longer allowed. So it just removes the potential liability from customers.
If you're putting nothing down the drain, you don't have to measure what you're putting down the drain. It's
exactly, and when there is something that goes on in the along the pipe system, they don't come knocking on your door. They just go to the next place, and they don't require discharge permits and all that.
Yeah, and obviously exhibiting some thought leadership and with these kind of things, which is very good. If people want to access that, is there a program of workshops going forward that they can access?
On our website, aqueoustechnologies.com, we have a list of all the workshops. There's 4 left this year. We have one next week in Denver and Boston. In November, we'll be in Toronto and Montreal.
Yep.
And then we haven't announced 2014 yet. We're putting that together now, but we'll probably have a pretty aggressive schedule for next year as well.
Okay. Well, look forward to seeing that. I was at ACD yesterday in Texas. They have a kind of a 4-cleaner bank, a big system there.
The Trident Quad,
they're
4
pretty
chambered.
happy with. Tell me about that. Is that typical installation, or is that a fairly
For a
major
contract
one?
assembler, it is. And it's funny you mention that, because when we came out with multiple chambered machines, our goal was increased throughput. We figured the more chambers, the more throughput there is. In reality, that's not how they're being utilized. They're being utilized, compare it to we've all been in a tall building, and the lobby doesn't have enough elevators. And you're always waiting. You're waiting on the ground floor. 3 people get in, and now you're waiting for 10 minutes until that elevator comes back down, even though they're not full loads, right? So the way ACD uses this machine and others is not necessarily full loads of boilers for high throughput, but fast availability. With any batch process, when you shut the door and commit to a process, you're locked out for 25, 30 minutes, whether there's 1 board in the machine or 100 boards in the machine. So by having multiple chambers, yes, they can get high throughput, which is what we intended. What we didn't intend is that they would have high availability.
Yeah, high flexibility,
so they'll put 3 boards
mix.
in, start a cycle. And if you only have 1 chamber, people tend to wait. Let's just wait until it's full, like the dishwasher you have at home, right? You don't fill it up. You wait till you fill it up before you turn it on. And with multiple chambers, put 2 or 3 boards in, push a button, and you still have 3 more chambers available.
Yeah, see, now, Mark, you're making me think I need more than 1 dishwasher at home.
It does come in handy. The interesting thing about ACD, what I love about ACD, they're a long-time customer, and they name all of their machines after superheroes, right? So no villains, only superheroes. So when they purchased our equipment, because our machine, the one they purchased, had 4 chambers, they decided to name the machine after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
My understanding is there's 4 of them.
Yeah, there's
Michelangelo, and exactly. So they named each one of our chambers after one of the Ninja Turtles. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I looked around there and I thought, well, you can see how well you're doing by what kind of superhero name you get.
Yeah. I think there was a time when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were more popular than they are now. I think we should maybe try and get an X-Man kind of name.
You got to update now.
Maybe on the next machine.
Yeah. What about the market here in North America, particularly here in Texas? How's that holding up right now?
Texas has always been a good territory for us. There's a lot of manufacturing going on in Texas. North America, of course, is our home, and we do everything out of California. So we do very well in the United States. We're very back to seasonal norms now. Last year, I think every month was busy. This year, it's kind of back to our seasonal norms. I think last year there was a lot of equipment catch-up. People were ordering things that they had postponed for a couple years before, so I think pretty much the capital markets had a very good year last year, at least we did. This year is good, it's just back to normal. We have our busy spring times, our slow summers, and our huge Q3, Q4.
Okay. Mexico?
Capital.
How's Mexico?
We see Mexico really coming back. I think Mexico's kind of on a lower scale than next China. A lot of things left Mexico going to China.
For the wrong reasons.
For all the wrong reasons, and people realize for all the right reasons that
Mexico's a good bet, isn't it?
Mexico's not so bad. And Mexico has its issues, as every country has, including ours. Their issues are more predictable, and I think the attitude in Mexico is they lost business once, they're not going to lose it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're much more responsive. Of course, logistics, they're our neighbor to the south. NAFTA allows us to move things freely across the border.
Yeah.
They're a day away rather than 12 days away on a boat or expensive airplane ride.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're seeing a big growth in Mexico.
Yeah.
I think onshoring has a whole new definition. When the original term of onshoring, I would think meant coming back to the United States. I think, although that is happening, I think most of the onshoring is going to Mexico.
Yeah.
It's coming back to Mexico. It left Mexico, it's now coming back to Mexico.
I think, the term I like is right-shoring, and I know it's a bit of a tricky one, but supply chain's becoming a really key part of running a good EMS business, particularly a tier one, and designing a supply chain that really fits your customer needs and doesn't just fill the factories that you've got capacity in, is a real skill, and I think something that'll set some of the bigger EMS guys apart from some of the others. And that's an exciting challenge moving forward.
And just in time, low inventories, particularly in this recovering economy, it's very expensive to maintain an inventory to allow enough product to be on a ship and be on a shelf and be in the manufacturing cycle.
And the right supply chain can be environmentally sound as well. Last question, Productronica about 4 weeks away. Anything new coming out there?
No, not at Productronica. We are coming up with 2 major product releases in Las Vegas in March at Apex. We affectionately call them Project Guinness and Project Stella. We decided to name our projects after beer. One is designed for the European market, Project Stella. One can say Guinness is a European product too. However,
one would definitely say it's a European product. You could be in a lot of trouble.
So we have 2 new machines coming out. One to address very efficient manufacturing, and one to address very environmental manufacturing. So
and they'll be launched in Las Vegas.
They'll be launched in Las Vegas in March.
We look forward to hearing about those, and we look forward to seeing you in Munich. Thanks very much, Mike.
Same here, Phil. Thanks.
Thank you.